ladies, you want to see some positive change in your marriage, but everything you're doing seems to be making things worse. Well, I've got 3 approaches that you can use that will actively change things in your marriage and bring you guys closer together at the same time.
We'll just keep on praising him, raise him up. Oh yeah, you see people taking their place in your love. Oh yeah, as you keep your light in our lives from above. Oh yeah, you just spark the fire that fires me up. Oh yeah.
Hey, how are you doing? It's Adaeze Chiwoko. This is a Marriage for Real video. Before I go ahead, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you can be notified every time I go live, and drop a comment below and let me know what you think about the tips that I'm giving you today. The other day I was on Facebook and I was talking to ladies in particular about why their husbands may not be rushing home after work or when they've got free time as much as we'd like them to. In fact, it almost appears that they like to spend all their free time with their friends more than with you. And that can be quite hard. I did give 3 reasons why that potentially is. One reason may be that you're too judgmental. The other reason would be that maybe you've become a little bit boring. And the third reason may be that you are hypersensitive. So if you do want to find out more about that, head over to my Facebook page where you will see that full video. But what I wanted to focus on today was the judgmental bit. Because I know that you're not sitting at home just thinking of ways to put your husband down. I know that being judgmental isn't your objective. It just comes across that way. The real heart of the matter is that you're trying to change or improve your spouse. Now, the problem is that the way you're going about it is actually not going to get you any results. And in fact, is more likely to put up walls and barriers between you and your husband. If all you're doing is moaning and groaning and nagging and complaining and judging, that isn't going to get you the change that you want to see. Let me tell you, the only change that you're going to see is that he's going to become more and more and more withdrawn from you and more resistant, and there's going to be more walls and more hard to talk to because he just sees you as the negative person. That's all he's seeing. Anytime he's with you, all you're doing is complaining at him. You remind him of all the things that is not right about him. You remind him of all his failures and his flaws and his weaknesses. You remind him of the things that most people want to run away from. And like I said, I get it and I understand the heart behind it. But what I want to teach you today is a better way to get those changes or improvements that you want to see. Now, let me put it out there. You do not have the power to change anybody. That's the truth. You do not have the power to change anyone, particularly if they don't want to change. But that is, you don't have that sort of power. You are not Jesus Christ himself. What you do have the power, though, is to influence somebody's behavior so that you can start to see some form of transformation if they're willing and if they receive and see the influence that you're giving out. So people can improve. People can desire for themselves to be better when they see that there is a need for that. So that is why I advocate for 3 things. There's 3 stages or 3 tips within this approach. And they are influence, praise, and prayer. Or prayer, praise, and influence. They're not in any particular order because you've got to be doing them all at the same time. So what do I mean by that? Influence. You are able to impact somebody by how you behave, by your conduct, by how you approach things. So if you're saying to your husband, oh, do you know what? You're always quick to anger. You're always quick to anger. Guess how you can influence them to do better? You can influence them to do better by being slow to anger. This isn't going to change them, but this will definitely make them look at you and be like, wow, you know what? I want to be a bit more like her. I want to handle things a little bit more like how she handles things. Look at the results she gets when she approaches situations like this. Maybe I should start to behave a little bit more like her. That's the power of influence. That's the power of influence. Well, if you're saying to your spouse, you know what? We don't do anything. I want us to go out more. I want us to go out more. Rather than moaning and groaning and groaning and moaning about it, why don't you set up some dates and show him how it feels to go out on a date with you? You know, how much fun you guys have. You know, how much connectivity you guys experience. How easy it was for you to make it happen, and how much worth and value there was in you guys spending time together. And after you do that for a while, hopefully, eventually, he starts to be like, you know what? This whole dating thing is great. Maybe I should start to make a little bit more of an effort in that area. Do you see how influence works? Influence is very, very powerful, and we use it all the time. We're either influencing for the negative or we're influencing for the positive. What I would like you to do is consider the changes that you want to see in your marriage, maybe in your spouse, and be the influencer. Influence that change. The other thing that you need to be coupling that with is praise. Guys, I really do believe in the power of praise. Now, what praise is, or what praise means, is that you are looking for the good and you are applauding and championing and saying, well done, you are great. What praise stops you from doing is only focusing on the negative and being like, boo, you are rubbish all the time. You can't do this. This is not what you're good at. You are failing at this. It switches your attention to the positive. At the same time, it's highlighting the good in your spouse, so they want to receive that praise more and therefore operates more in that place. They can see that when they behave in a certain manner, they are rewarded with kindness, with great words, with affirmation, with championing, with a pat on the back, with lots of love. They see that. And yes, we're adults, we're not children, but guess what? We all do respond to a bit of positivity and a bit of praise. Everybody does. Who doesn't like praise? So rather than using negative approaches such as complaining, such as moaning, such as nagging, such as judging, if you take the positive stance and use praise, encouragement, lots of love, affirmation, championing, whenever you see the good, then you are going to find that your spouse does more to get that from you. Does that make sense? And at the same time, you're building a stronger relationship, because who doesn't want to be around a person that is always championing them, always encouraging them, always praising them? So you can see already with just influence and just praise how you can start to see the changes that you want in your marriage and in your relationship, while having the added bonus of building stronger connections between you guys and not working actively to pull down your marriage. Now, when you are doing that in the physical, you need to now be backing it up in your quiet room, in the spiritual. This isn't something you go into your spouse and say, right, well, I'm going to be praying that you change this. No. This is like your secret weapon. This is something that you go behind and you say, Lord, this is something that is really damaging our marriage. This is something that I'm not happy with. Begin to speak to my spouse. Begin to lead my spouse. Begin to highlight this to my spouse. Cause there to be change in my marriage. Give me the wisdom to understand how to navigate through this. Touch the heart of my spouse. Break off any negative relationships. Whatever it is that you need to see, that you really believe is going to take your marriage to that next level, you back it up with prayer. You back it up in your quiet room, in your war room. You pray those things into fruition. So they're the three things that you need to be doing if you want to see positive change in your marriage. You need to be influencing, you need to be praising, and you need to be praying. What you don't want to be doing is judging, complaining, and moaning, and groaning, and nagging. It does not work. Actually, what it does is puts up big barriers in your marriage, pushes your partner away, and just makes things a lot worse for you. I hope that helps you. Do drop some comments below and let me know your thoughts on that, or any tools that you use to be an influencer, a positive influencer of change in your marriage. And I will see you very soon.